Some people argue that really they're the same and just the differences of the activities. And others say, no, that, if you look at the goals, there really are differences. It's really an individual decision you have to make. The most important thing is that you have an effective marketing process that you can review and modify as needed. So, I leave that up to you to decide as a philosophical issue, depending on, your perspective of, where the nonprofit marketing fits. And I'm going to stay on the fence on this one. In terms of the Internet, I think apps at the very minimal, a nonprofit, regardless how small you are, and there's some free software programs, you should at the very minimal have a well-constructed, attractive website. The website can be another methodology. People are constantly using the Internet more and more for many different things. Excuse me. And certainly in terms of a web presence, I recommend it in terms of a full-blown marketing campaign. I think it's something that you might be able to ultimately integrate. You should probably initially, if you don't have any kind of really comprehensive marketing plan, stick with the traditional one, and perhaps maybe devote a minimal or a small amount, initially towards some kind of web presence or web marketing. And that's a whole separate subject in itself, because web marketing is quite different, and it gets into categories such as SEO, which is search engine optimization, which is really a whole presentation in itself, and not for now. As far as the porters, again, I can't underemphasize how important it is for your funders to be happy with you, and the benefit it can have beyond regular, required reporting. You really want to get, you want the funder to get to know your organization. You want to convey, just like you want to convey the value to the client, you want to convey the value of your services to your funders. You want to convey it to volunteers. You want to convey it to, donors. I was at a conference not too long ago, and one of the nonprofits spoke about how they developed a volunteer program, and as time went on, they had some really great volunteers that just were very into their organization, believed in their cause, and would, literally volunteered for would be a volunteer for years. Some of them actually became donors, when they saw that they were struggling, certain funding restrictions that developed, and some of them actually were in a position to write checks and become donors. So, if you don't have a donor, that's another area, especially with the economy the way it is. Again, and that's a separate, how to develop donors is really a separate subject, but again, it's in the same concept of trying to demonstrate the value of your agency, not just to your clients, but to other very important people. Again, to try and perhaps maybe get a board member that's very influential by demonstrating, your agency, the value of your agency and your services. And of course, PowerPoints, I think, are a great methodology in terms of marketing all these different ideas, and it's extremely flexible, as we see. So I think it very much pays to have someone in your organization know or learn how to develop and do very good PowerPoints. In terms of the PowerPoint aspect itself, my personal feeling is that it's an excellent tool and methodology, much better than any other potential medium of conveying your company story, and that might be a little bit different from your company cause. There's some very unique and exciting stories out there, very inspiring, compelling visionary stories. One that just pops into my head is, I don't know how familiar anyone is with Harry Potter, but if you just look at the origination of the author of Harry Potter, it's really a fascinating human interest story, how someone developed into a quite accomplished author. So your company story may be very unique, your company cause may be very unique, or just you really feel that it's something that you really need to convey to funders, donors, supporters, etc., volunteers. And data and statistics are very important, and they really visually, there are so many different ways to convey this on a PowerPoint using statistics, You might want to actually, if you have any software that you've created internally, you might want to emphasize that and capture that in the PowerPoint itself and convey, in your presentation, the fact that you've constructed and you're able to modify your own software, certainly any major past achievements. And at the end of the day, you want to, use the PowerPoint to impress. And again, this is where I think it's more effective than any other methodology. Impress the funders, the donors, potential volunteers, etc. Not just for what you've achieved, but future people want to feel that they're backing and they're funding people that are providing the value. And the PowerPoint as a marketing tool is just as we'll see. Probably its general category that I think is at the top is the flexibility. It's an extremely flexible medium. There are many things that you can do with it. You can present it as I'm doing as part of a webinar. It could be presented live. It could be pre-recorded. You can post it on the internet in terms of other methodologies and as part of a marketing. YouTube has a whole nonprofit section. So in addition to posting your webinars, your PowerPoints rather, on your own website, you might want to consider posting them under the nonprofit section of YouTube. It's another way of getting your agency exposure. The creativity aspect of many things that you could do with it. There's definitely a lot of artistic capabilities in that, you have staff members that have, these types of quality. They can definitely provide very good ideas. And to me, what I think the most powerful aspect of it is the multisensory approach. There are many different learning theories on how people learn. And learning does not only mean getting the information initially, but comprehending it and retaining it. And one of the methodologies that are utilized is multisensory approach, where if you have information conveyed, not just in the written word, but written word, auditory, visual, these all enhance the experience, and as some of the learning theorists technically refer to, the encoding process is much stronger when people are able to remember it much better. So this is another area or aspect that PowerPoint has where I think it's superior to all the other mediums. The multisensory aspect of it, in that powerful effect that it's going to make a lasting effect in the minds of the people that you're trying to convey the value of your agency. Another flexibility in is the fact that you can target all levels. You can design a PowerPoint for all levels of people that you need to deal with, from if you want to design a PowerPoint for line staff or staff members, all the way up to the executive board, etc. The other creative aspect, if you have any kind of major events in your organization, definitely video it, even if you can only video it. It doesn't have to be professionally videoed. It can be edited if you have someone who knows how to edit. It can be integrated into the PowerPoints. It's a great method to convey some activities that you've done, some major events. And again, that could be posted online or it could be posted on your website. You can take the PowerPoint and you can convert the PowerPoint into a poster format. You might want to, without getting too technical, you might need to resize the PowerPoint in order to do that and take a standard size, but it could be done. It could be put on poster board and preserved, and that could be something depending on if it's a major event, if it's a presentation that you did at a conference, for example. It's something that you might want to display somewhere in your organization. And perhaps at the bottom of the pyramid is that it allows for the ideas and concepts to be easily understandable. You can create handouts so people can go back and refer to it again when you make it available either online or on a website. The fact that it's something that people can refer back to. Often a one-page piece of paper, even a whole report, gets lost, gets misplaced, etc. There are websites full of PowerPoints, pre-canned PowerPoints that people look to for examples of models or templates. Now, this is something I don't suggest that you do. I don't suggest that you use one of these. I think that the best thing to do is if you have someone that is knowledgeable in the PowerPoint program, want to designate someone that's interested and let them learn from the beginning, it's much more effective. Once you've created one PowerPoint, it's extremely flexible. You can simply copy and paste, use different designs. It really makes it easy in terms of the flexibility. You can make many different PowerPoints if you're going to have standard PowerPoints with standard panels for your agency. Certainly those can always be recopied. You can do them one time and simply continue to copy them. And I personally think that people enjoy, in terms of a learning experience, I think people enjoy them. I think they're very exciting, especially when they're done live and there's, that powerful visual. I find them, again, if they're done right, if the presenter has researched the topic well and can present and speak well, or they could be, pre-recorded and recordings made available through a variety of different methodologies. So I really think, on a personal note, that the PowerPoint methodology is a superior method of conveying the value of your organization. I think it could be used as an excellent marketing tool, depending on exactly who you want to target to. I think that you can even use, believe it or not, PowerPoints as a marketing in and of itself to potential clients. It's a little bit trickier to do, and not really part of. It's a little bit too specific to present, and really needs to be thought out through based on an individual basis, depending on the type of service that you provide. But these are all different ideas in terms of the marketing concept, the different parts of the different aspects of the marketing, and how PowerPoint can play a valuable role in marketing your agency, demonstrating the value to the people that you want to target. And that's the targeted marketing. The last thing that you want to do is to invest time, effort, and money to try and market your service to someone that's really not going to be interested in using it, or that someone or groups of people that don't have, that don't believe it to be valuable for them. So to put it all together, there's some very good books. I didn't feel to recommend one over the other. I think that everyone should do their own research in terms of either books on marketing, what's available online. But the main message in this is to get some kind of marketing campaign going on some level, to put some of this into some kind of formal process, to be able to analyze internally your own agency in terms of where you're at, what you're doing. Is it up to snuff? Are you doing the numbers? Are you giving the value that you thought you would be giving? And then what do you need to modify in order to achieve those goals, or to expand, or to go after new funding? Supporters, just to define a little bit more, there are people that just might not be capable or in a position to do more than give you a letter of support for a grant that you want to apply for. That in itself could be very valuable if you hit the right people and you have developed those relationships with the right people. The letters of support can be quite impressive if they're coming from influential people. So you really want to, whether you approach it from the cause of your agency, the mission of your agency, the services, past achievements, future goals. There are many different aspects, there are many different ways that you could sort of market your particular agency to different people that may be in a position to either indirectly or directly assist you in maintaining or obtaining new funding. And of course, the main marketing parts, for your clients, to expand your client base, and to perhaps look to bring new services or expand to a new, client demographic.